All right, good morning. So today is the first camping trip of the season. It's currently Thursday, March 5th. This trip we're heading down the Roaring River. We're just about there, about ready to drop down into the valley. It's also the first time I'm pulling the trailer. I'll have details on that in a separate video. But right now I just kind of want to talk about Roaring River. If you've never been here or if you're not real, familiar with it. South Missouri, just outside Carthage. The river itself is spring fed and ends up into Table Rock Lake. Be 54 this year. I've been coming down here all my life. I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I've kind of figured it out. I see a lot of people wanting to know how to fish it, what to use, and as we go through the weekend, I'll shoot some videos on that and kind of fill you in. It's very simple to fish. They breed the fish here, so they put them in for us. So it's not like I'm out in a wild trout stream, trying to find something. So one of the first things that you do when you're coming down here, I'm coming in from Cassville right now, heading south down into the river. Gets a little windy when you get to the river, but nothing a small camper, big camper. I mean, they're coaches that come down through here with trailers, so get accessibility, not a problem. One thing I will say, and I believe he is closed today, but we'll make a trip up there tomorrow, is the first thing you want to do when you're coming out of Cassville and you're dropping down, whether you do it on your way down to the river or whether you go get camp set up and come back, you're going to want to stop at Tim's Fly Shop. Tim is going to be real helpful. He's going to tell you what they're biting on, whether you buy anything from him or not. He is going to tell you what they're biting on, what to use. He's going to have all the he's going to have all the flies tied that you're going to need down here for that particular weekend. He lives down here. He lives on this river. And plus, he's just a really nice guy, really nice guy. He'll give you a hard time, but he's a nice guy. All right, we made it out of Tim's Fly Shop. Like I was saying, it's always a good thing to stop off and see him. Like me, this particular trip, I forgot my waders. So I was telling him about forgetting my waders, and he's like, hey, he goes, you don't want to wade out this weekend. He goes, it's kind of flooded down there. He goes, said it's really not going to be safe to get down in Zone 2 and wade this weekend. So there we go. Now, if I look at the river and I think I can get in, I'm still not, because like I said, Tim is the expert. Knowing that, I fished my ultralight, did pick up some bait. Everybody's always wondering what the fish are biting on down here. Everybody's going to have an opinion on this. Everybody's going to tell you something different. It's going to come down to what you are confident in and keeping it in the water. For me, I only ever, my entire life, fished two things down here successfully. Now, I'm not saying you can't catch it on other things or other colors or rooster tails. I fish everything with either 2 or 4 pound tests on my ultralight setup. Small hooks. Today I'll put a little bit more weight on. And then I like these salmon eggs, and besides that, an orange worm. So when you start dropping down into the park, it is going to get a little bit steeper. You are going to have some curves down here. So I always like just to back it down. My trailer's not big, but I am in a Tacoma, so I got to worry about braking power. So I like to play with the gears a little bit. Noticing some signs coming in: prescribed burn ahead. Things you've got to watch out for when you're down here. So now that we've been through Tim's Fly Shop, we're going to drop down here into the park, and I'm already looking. Dry Creek is full. This river is blowing. Kind of dark. I like it. Now I've got to go over here to the concessions and pick me up my trout tag. All right, we're back in the truck. We've got our tag. Different inside again this year. It's concessionaires, they're always changing stuff. So anyways, we're gonna go fishing now. I'm gonna kind of pull down. I can't, it's way too early to get into my camp spot. So not a lot of people at the river right now. So I'm going to head down, try to find a place to park and see if we can't catch some fish. So I'm not gonna take you along on that journey because I wanna go fishing and I don't wanna have to worry about a camera with me. So, yep. All right, we're down here. You can tell where it's flooded. I'll get some video later out of the front, but up here in the parking lot, you can tell where the river came through last night. Now I'm quite certain there's still some fish in it. I'm not worried about that. Again, I'm really liking the size of my camper. Able just to kind of go where I want here. All right, I'm going fishing. I'll be back with you all later. Okay, so we've got some pretty good storms coming in later on today, so I thought I'd get a quick what it looks like all set up video before I take things down for wind. On the front of the trailer, you got the two toolboxes. On the front one is where I keep tent pegs, things like that, tools. Middle one, just extra miscellaneous stuff, diesel heaters, cleaners, air compressors, kitchen and bathroom items. Got the 23-0 shower awning. We've got the Rome Adventure Co. awning off of the back. And then off of this side we have the ARB awning. Don't have the awning room up on this trip. Be doing a separate video on that. All right, so here's what camp looks like partially set up. Got the ARB awning coming out on this side. All right, so big difference from yesterday. Turned pretty cold. My fingers are kind of cold. Yesterday when I was out in t-shirt getting sunburned, today I was, it was a tough day of fishing, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you my stringer that I put together. It's not a bad stringer full of fish right there. I'm real happy with the way the day turned out. After the little bit of flooding last night and everything else that kind of went on this morning with, you know, just a horrible morning of fishing with everything, I finally ended up finding a hole that had, had some pretty good backflow in it, and I was able to kind of work around the debris. But yeah, I put those 4 fish together in about 20-30 minutes, so I'm pretty proud of the way that day turned out. So now we're going to get down to the fish cleaning station and get those cleaned up. All right, heading into campground 2 now. I didn't do a post-flood drive-through of 1. I'm in 1. There's no flooding up there. So we're just going to drive down here through campground 2 and just kind of see what floods and what doesn't down here. Originally, my campsite was supposed to be in campground 1, or I'm sorry, in campground 2. However, I switched it, knowing that it was going to flood. My original campsite was right by the river down here. A lot of tents, a lot of wet tents. You can see a lot of people got wet last night. All right, so good morning. It's about 9:30 on Sunday. Just got done fishing this morning. Decent morning of fishing. Caught several fish. Nothing really noteworthy. I did have a good one on and lost him at the bank. My fault. Whatever. But I ended up helping the guy next to me net him when he caught him. So that was kind of fun. Anyways, we're packing up. I'm already hooked up to the camper. It's cold this morning. Very cold down at the river. It's finally up above freezing right now. 36 in the sun, but no, just kind of cold this morning. Got down about 30 last night. The diesel heater did phenomenal. I like the automatic feature, not having to get up, turning it off and on at night, having the thermostat inside. So the first trip with the H-calorie diesel heater, that worked out real good. So now we're just going to, like I said, we're all hooked up. I've already checked my lights. Everything seems to be good. So we're going to head up into Cassville, grab another cup of coffee, and call this trip in the books. I did get some decent footage, even through the fog. Been coming down here all my life. I've seen eagles down here. First time I had an eagle sitting across the river on a limb fishing with me. So I don't know, I'll take that as a pretty good sign. That made my morning, made my trip. And anytime I can see an eagle out and about, especially, right across from me fishing the same hole I am, that's a good morning. So we're going to head home now and just see how the camper pulls home. Like I said, get some coffee and get the camper in the garage, get her cleaned up, ready for the next trip. Lots of changes I'm going to make. I'm going to make several changes on the camper, minor ones. The jacks need a better trash can solution rather than just using my little sacket. Just a few little things to make it easier. The camper itself, though, is done. Worked flawlessly. All the components worked great. I'm super happy with my build. Really happy. I'm pretty proud of myself. Not going to lie, everybody wanted to talk about it. Kind of like the truck. I'm used to people wanting to talk about the truck. But I really enjoyed people coming up that appreciated what I had done and what I had built. So anyways, doubt we'll make any more videos on this trip because, well, I need some coffee. So gonna go do that. Head home, get the fish vacuumed up, and call it a successful trip, and we'll do it again next month. All right, thanks for watching.